contact your HOA?
I'll take permits for 600.
My pool needs to be drained. Do I need a permit for that? Yes. I mean, what is yes?
What is no?
That is correct. Pro tip, if you're looking to drain the water in your pool, you'll find 2 black water conduits in the front of your home. One of them leads directly to sewage. Plug it in and you're ready to begin draining. However, you'll need to contact Global Water first, as the pool water needs to be of a specific pH level before you can begin the draining. So that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to tune in next time to Permit or Not, and until then, feel free to visit www.maricopa-az.gov for all of your questions regarding city events, permits, and more. Or leave us a comment below and we'll be sure to get back to you.
Hey there, Maricopa. This is Maria Poor. I am one of the Cultural Affairs and Arts Committee members for the City of Maricopa. And here today we have one of our local artists creating one of the beautiful signal box portraits. I'm here today with artist Veronica Lichtenstein, who created this beautiful mural. Veronica, what does this represent for you?
This is, when I was thinking about Maricopa and the kind of box I would want to paint, I just started to think about like what's one of the main activities that like people in my neighborhood do, and me and my daughter go bike riding all the time, especially around Halloween and Christmas time, to look at all the displays and just, enjoy the weather during that season. So I wanted to make a mural of a joyful bike ride, and that's what it is. It's a blissful joyride. This is part of our Super Bloom, and this is actually this street on Honeycutt, which was just like a month ago, was all blown up with these yellow trees and the green pieces out there. So it's just one of my favorites because it reminds me of the amount of fun times we had together going bike riding every night.
And this piece directly represents you and your family life and your family together. Describe that for us.
Absolutely. Like we love going on bike rides and going around the neighborhoods. We love getting picnics. We'll pick up Chipotle and then we'll just, find a spot under a tree and just hang out. And it's one of those things where she'll want to do it every night and she gets to talk about the end of her day and open up, and it's just a really fun event for us to do. And I think as I've been doing this piece and bike riders have come by, it's been fun to see families together see this and feel like they're being captured from Maricopa.
What does it mean to you to have this gorgeous public artwork up in your city?
Just the world. I'm so excited. I'm excited to have seeing the 9 other pieces that are going to be out there, just to see what everybody has and everybody's unique fingerprint and art, and seeing what they're going to come up with. I'm just excited to see more of this throughout the city because I think it just really brings out the community to life.
It does. Thank you so much for being a part of our public art initiative here in the city of Maricopa. Thank you so much for gifting our community with your talents. It's beautiful and something that people can really enjoy and last a really long time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome back to the program where the questions are answers and the answers don't stop. It's Maricopa's favorite game show, Permit or Not. I'm your host, Luis Villa, and I'd like to remind our viewers today that if you have any questions regarding any of the categories today, please leave them in the comments below. Now let's take a look at the board. The categories today are city services, do I need a permit for that? What's being developed? City events, library, and roads. Bob, why don't you lead things off for us?
Thank you, Luis. I'll take do I need a permit for that for 200?
I would like to pour a slab of concrete in my backyard. Do I need a permit for that?
What is no?
That is correct. Slabs or pavers in your backyard are up to the owner's discretion. However, any work being done in the front yard, you'll need to contact your HOA.
I'll take permits for 600.
My pool needs to be drained. Do I need a permit for that?
Yes. I mean, what is yes? What is no?
That is correct. Pro tip, if you're looking to drain the water in your pool, you'll find 2 black water conduits in the front of your home. One of them leads directly to sewage. Plug it in and you're ready to begin draining. However, you'll need to contact Global Water first, as the pool water needs to be of a specific pH level before you can begin the draining. So that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to tune in next time to Permit or Not, and until then, feel free to visit www.maricopa-az.gov for all of your questions
Thank you all for being here this evening. As we welcome you to the regular City Council meeting of February 6th, at this time we'll call the meeting to order. And I would like to invite Pastor Drew Anderson of Legacy Church forward to give the invocation, after which the Pledge of Allegiance will be given to us by our own Vice Mayor Lehrman. Please rise if you're able to.
Galatians 3:13 and 14. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you have a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord has forgiven you, and over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Father God, we just thank you, dear Lord, for giving us another day, dear Lord. Father God, we thank you, dear Lord, that you're keeping us safe and you're keeping us moving forward in a time, dear Lord, where there's so much confusion and so much illness and hurt happening, dear Lord. Father God, we pray in the mighty name of Jesus, dear Lord, that you continue to bless this amazing city, dear Lord, that we all call home, dear Lord. Father God, it's times like right now, dear Lord, when we come together for the greatness and the goodness of one purpose, dear Lord, and that's edifying you, dear Lord, and helping, Heavenly Father, this amazing city continue to grow and continue to flourish and continue to operate in the spirit of prosperity, dear Lord, that amazing things happen, dear Lord. We're thankful, Father God, for everyone that you've put over the city of Maricopa, dear Lord, as all leadership, Heavenly Father, is appointed by you, dear Lord, as it's said in the Bible. We just thank you for the amazing leadership that you've given this city, dear Lord. We thank you for our amazing mayor, dear Lord, and we thank you for each one of these dedicated councilmen and councilwomen, dear Lord, that show up, Heavenly Father, time after time, dear Lord, to continue to help this city grow and flourish. Father God, we just thank you, dear Lord, for this day, and we just pray that you continue to bless this amazing city in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
And to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Pastor Anderson and Vice Mayor Lehrman. That'll take us now to the roll call. Vanessa, if you please.
Councilmember Gettle.
Present.
Councilmember Manfredi.
Present.
Councilmember Marsh.
Here.
Councilmember Vidiello. Here. Councilmember Wade.
Present.
Vice Mayor Lehrman. Here. Mayor Smith.
Here.
Madam Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. That'll take us to the proclamations, acknowledgments, awards, and presentations. Tonight we have one presentation. It is a presentation from the University of Arizona Growth Initiatives Director Malcolm Green.
Okay. Oh, it's already up. So there we go. Greetings, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members, and council members from the city. Thank you so much for the opportunity to give you an update, present to you. I know several of you have worked with different committees with you in the past. I'd like to share, and for the public's benefit as well, it is a project that's been working in the background in collaboration between the University of Arizona and the city of Maricopa for a couple of years now. It started in an idea state, and we are slowly developing it, but it's an exciting project, and it gives credit to the growth of the city of Maricopa and the opportunities and potential for expansion as an economic powerhouse in this region and for Pinal County. So with that, I'd like to give a little bit of introduction. Again, I'm Malcolm Green. I'm a director of growth initiatives for the University of Arizona, specifically the Arizona Experiment Station. And if that rings a bell to you, a couple of years ago, before taking this new role, I was the director of the Maricopa Ag Center, which is just outside your front door. It is a 2,100 acre parcel of land that the University of Arizona manages on behalf of the Arizona Board of Regents. And to that, we have historically done a lot of agricultural research. We have a United States Department of Agriculture research station there as well. But it's, as the local citizens know as well, it's a significant parcel of land. And The university teed up this idea with the city of Maricopa a couple of years ago to begin really just thinking out loud of what potentially, what other things could we do with this asset. And so this is the purpose of today's presentation, is to just give you highlights of some of the activities we've done. Again, a little bit of background. We really began this during COVID timeframe. Early, COVID had just really starting knocking on the door in early 2020. At the university, we had some concepts of what we might do with this campus and began organizing a feasibility team. Shortly thereafter, I began in earnest, visiting with the city, manager, members of his team as well. And we decided to go in together as partners to go after some EDA funding to really launch what we call a feasibility study to study the land. EDA is the Economic Development Administration. It's actually a part of the Department of Commerce. And with the city leading this project, we were awarded a $400,000 EDA grant, which I just found out maybe a little over a year ago. To this day, that is the largest grant awarded by EDA as a feasibility study in the state of Arizona. So again, it speaks to the potential here. So we created this study. It was an exhaustive study, and we completed it in June of 2023. And I presented those findings to the senior leadership team of the University of Arizona and to President Robbins. I also briefed the Arizona Board of Regents, and everyone seems to really like this idea. So we did get seed funding from the university to go the next step in terms of planning. Of course, we're a considerable time away from putting shovels in the ground and doing something like this. But if successful, this is a 20-year project. This is a 20-year development project. But speaking of the excitement of the Board of Regents, in September of last year, the Board of Regents then said, let's add those to the goals and objectives for President Robbins of the University of Arizona. So we have some exciting things as well. There's a Google shot of the asset itself, the property. On what would be the east side, where the blue dot is actually where our infrastructure is, where we have research buildings, laboratories, the USDA facility is there. And most of our research is on that side. But it's a large parcel, and honestly, it begs the question from an ABOR asset standpoint of what is the best and highest use of that asset? So as we were pondering this as a university, what you all have experienced here is pretty self-evident, just the incredible growth of the region while the city's kind of building around us. Pinal County, this region, the cities, really just doing extremely well. As a landscape, if you look across Pinal County, there's really no major university research park or business incubator in Pinal County, and it's an opportunity that just begs for a solution. Our asset, is just like the city, is conveniently located near the 5th largest city in the U.S., but we're really tied, as a former director of the facility, we work really closely with the tribal communities, and they are our neighbors, they are our research partners. And so, but the whole success of the region ultimately is tied to creating new economic and educational opportunities. Students at the University of Arizona originate from Maricopa County. And so that is a moment as you think about where the city of Maricopa, rests and what the opportunities might be for the city. Lastly, as part of the university's core mission to continually seek to expand its economic impact. And so to cut to the chase, really the idea that really surfaced was to not sell, but to reportion or reallocate areas of this acreage to be repurposed for greater benefit. So that's really what I want to talk to you a little bit about. This is a slide that I usually show to people who are not familiar with the city and the region, but you live this every day and you know what the growth is. That my numbers may not be exactly current because it's hard to keep up with the growth, but who knows what the projection of growth will be, or the population size will be, 30 years from now. But it will be significantly greater than it is today. We're blessed with a highly educated workforce. We, like you, desire to maybe bring in some anchor companies instead of just being a bedroom community. That's great, but I think we can do more, and we can bring companies and more employment opportunities to the region. And so that's really just some fast facts on it. So let me go to that feasibility study that was done in conjunction with the city of Maricopa. Really, the right-hand side is what we obtained the funding to do, was to assess the highest and best value of this asset. Specifically, we were looking to see if it could be developed as an area of innovation. And innovation means something that could be a business attractor, home for research, home for expanded research, not only from the university, but from industry, the government as well, really just being a great attractor to the region. On the left-hand side was the vision that was internally within the University of Arizona, was a bold initiative to advance and expand the research and educational programming mandate of the University of Arizona throughout Pinal County. And so that really is the crosshairs and really the opportunity that we've been really looking at. So it is a diagram. I won't go into details, but really conceptually to put together an economic model of just could the potential be. The area in green, which is approximately 900 acres that we could potentially use for other purposes. What the study did, and the city was involved, we had several organizations, a cross-section across the university as well. And what came as opportunities were really distinct and in three areas. One is, just like I mentioned, to rapidly expand the research opportunities that the university is already doing in agriculture, but expand that to other technology areas and things that would benefit the region. Also an attractor for more government. And we already do a lot of commercial industry research, but a lot of we kind of keep that, have not really been public about that, but big opportunities to grow and expand that as well. The second, and maybe the most interesting thing to me in economic terms, is to make that particular area an economic catalyst, meaning we could potentially establish a 300-acre tech research park that the university has already existing ones in Tucson. The model is safe. It really comes with a side that has startup assistance for new companies, business incubators. So it could be like a hub for innovation and bringing startups to this area. But the whole area would then really transform, kind of if you're thinking out loud of a live, work, and play environment. So you have mixed-use development, you have restaurants, you have housing, you have academic programs and buildings there as well. That would be a great business attractor for industry to the region. And we have the assets that we could use to kind of earmark to bring in R&D companies. Last, if you're doing the first two, the third one is kind of a slam dunk. If you have the momentum and growth, then it affords even greater justification to expand the university in terms of a satellite campus to offer new programming to the region as well. So that is what the potential was. And so this is what the university is internally are calling this the Area of Innovation Project for Maricopa. And we are not limited to any types of companies or businesses that we are specifically attracting, but those that are the easiest are those that we already have close relationships and support already. And those are shown there as well. Agriculture, sustainability, engineering, anything from autonomous vehicles, off-road and on-road, health and wellness, medical research, and so on. So those are just potentials. This is a slide just to kind of show what it could look like. And again, we're ways away from putting shovels in the ground, but we continue to have discussions with the city and the region of what makes sense and what it could be. The bright red would be something that this area does not have today, which would be a legitimate town center area. If you equate that to areas of like Chandler and Gilbert and other municipalities, it would be an area hub, maybe mixed use above, maybe condos or apartments above or living areas above, but an area of walking, it would be a venue attractor. Surrounding that, we would have multifamily housing, student housing perhaps as well. The light blue would be a tech research park. The areas in purple is just commercial, earmarked land space for bringing in companies as well. The mission of the University of Arizona, what it does today, is actually continues and would continue unaffected, and that's shown in the dark green region on the far east side of the property as well. So again, concepts, not specifics, but because we're not at the specific stage yet, but and then the yellow would be a satellite campus as well. But that's just the idea that we've been brewing as well. What began to turn people's heads is once the financial model that was done by Rounds Consulting. Rounds is based in Phoenix, and they do a lot of economic modeling for Board of Regents, for the state, for other universities. And they really took the idea that I just presented of having a 300-acre research park, 600-acre area of innovation, and then a campus, and says, okay, what could be the potential? Of course, it's potential. Nothing is realized until you put shovels in the ground and start putting up building and assets, but your 5, your 10, and your 15 increments, over 15 years could have an economic impact of over $95 billion for the region and for the state. So it's huge. Obviously, with that comes great employment gains and also, tax revenues for the city, the county, the state as well. So, but it would be a game changer, I believe, for the region as well. But that's really what can kind of solidified the president of U of A saying, let's proceed, let's go the next step. And so we're continuing to work in planning with the city hand in hand, but what we're doing right now is like, okay, that was a great potential, but where would we start on this massive project? And that's what we're doing now. We're refining what the first phase of a development might be. We're launching it, getting how we work this project with the Board of Regents, with the administration in Tucson. We've already received a lot of endorsement from the constituents that live in the region and work in our tribal partners, creating a business plan as well. There's several entities from the University of Arizona. There's our real estate division that actually does the campus planning. And then there's the entity, the UA Tech Research Park, that's a 501c3, and they would be contracted to do their element from the Board of Regents as well. So there's lots of things going on. We are still in kind of, I would say, the early January to next phase in the middle, which is we're working on funding. This is not just, we've got the government funding. We're going to have to go, we have a line of sight for additional EDA funds that they are very high on this project to help us with infrastructure, because for most of this it's virgin farmland, so it needs utility infrastructure, electric, water, sewer, etc. So we're working in that phase right now to get prepared for the next step. But it's an exciting project. Some of you have been briefed on this in the past, but I thought it would be a good opportunity to present officially to the council what this project is that the city and the University of Arizona have been working. So with that, I'll conclude my comments. If anyone does wish to reach me, they can by my email, but I'd be delighted to answer questions that they might have. So Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Green. I appreciate it. I think it's a great presentation. I've been blessed to see it a couple times
Right.
through Meetup, but I appreciate you being here to share it with the full council. Council, do you have any comments, questions for Mr. Green?
Sure.
Yes, Councilmember Gettle.
Yeah, Mr. Green, just a heartfelt gratitude for willing to partner with the city in this great event. So we appreciate your leadership there, and helping this to actually come to be would be an amazing thing for our city and for our residents. So we appreciate the hard work that this represents.
Thank you, and my support team is really not my support team. They've been leading it. They're on the back table over there as well. So
they're great also.
All right. Thank you.
All right, that'll take us on to the report from the mayor. Council members, vice mayor, do you have anything that you'd like to share? I said council members, vice mayor. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Councilmember Vitiello.
So first of all, I'd like to welcome everybody here. It's great to see the crowds getting larger and larger, and the interest in our great city that we have here. So this Saturday, unfortunately, we're going to be putting on the 7th annual Izzy softball tournament. Izzy was in an accident on the 347 7 years ago. He's in a vegetated, and sorry, I just get choked up when I talk about him. He'll never probably come out of this, and I ask you to pray for him. And we raise about $15,000 to $20,000 on this softball tournament. So if I could ask you to pray for no rain, because this would be the second time we're being rained out. But it's near and dear to my heart that this gentleman who serves our community, who I've known for 14 years, is laying in this hospital. And we need to support our local people here. And if you guys have the opportunity to come out and watch a bunch of co-ed softball players play for this gentleman to raise money, and you want to come in and just donate a $5 bill, a $10 bill, or whatever it is, every cent goes to his family. All I ask is that if you have the opportunity, please come down, even if you just come pray, or if you pray over the next few days so we don't get rained out again and possibly have to push this out. But this happened on the 347 in Riggs Road. So when I talk about this softball tournament, I talk about the hearts of the whole council of what we put into making sure the 347 gets fixed. Because it's near and dear to every single one of us. And yes, it is personal for every single one of us. This team of 7 up here works day in, day and night, 24/7, 7 days a week, 364 days. Only time we take off is for Christmas to honor the Lord. But the bottom line is that I ask if you have the opportunity to please come out and support this gentleman and his family. Like I said, every dime goes to him. It's all volunteers. Everybody puts it together, and we're out there just having a great time to play softball to raise money for this gentleman. So it's at Copper Sky. It starts at 7:30 in the morning. Sheriff Lamb will be throwing the first pitch out. We'll have the color guard from the police department there for the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem. And it's just a great day of fun food, beers, and playing softball, co-ed softball. So if you have the opportunity to come down and support this family, I'd greatly appreciate it, and hope to see you there, because I'll be there umpiring with, again, a bunch of volunteers. And like I said, it's about him and his family, but it's also about awareness of the 347 and what we do for you day in and day out, because we care about you. Because when you leave this city, we want you to come home safe in this city. So God bless you all, and thank you for listening to me. This is a speech I make once a month at ADOT meetings, because I care about this meeting. I care about these people. I care about you. So God bless you, and thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Vitiello. Vice Mayor Wade. Excuse me. Council member, I'm so used to that.
That would be
Councilmember
former Vice Mayor
Vitiello,
Wade.
former, yes, and Councilmember Wade.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to acknowledge and recognize that it's the beginning of Black History Month, and there are activities and things that are taking place. I know there's a couple of organizers that are here that will probably come forth and talk about the events that they have scheduled for, but I would encourage you to participate and attend those events that take place, and hopefully we'll get some good turnouts, and the organizers will be happy with the efforts that they put into making sure that Black History Month is recognized. So That's what I wanted to say.
Very good. Thank you, Councilmember Wade. Councilmember Marsh.
It's been a busy 3 weeks since our last council meeting. On the 20th of January, we put on the Senior Expo led by Ron Smith. He did a real stand-up job of organizing that thing. I do want to thank staff, city staff, for their support on making it happen. As a side note, there were 4 of us running for office. We had a table at the Senior Expo, and we had some great conversations with some great Maricopa citizens. It was really awesome. We also got a lot of signatures for our petitions to get on the ballot, too. On the 29th, we got a presentation of the next fiscal year's budget. This is the budget starting next July. I was in awe of our finance department's efforts on this budget plan. You're going to like it. And then on the 31st, we had a major event in this room, the State of the City, starring Mayor Nancy. And I'd like to ask for a round of applause for the city staff, Quinn Conold and Communications Department, and for Mayor Nancy. I don't want to put Mayor Price down, but I think this was the best State of the City yet.
He'll wear his shirt one day. The favorite mayor is what he says. Yeah.
And that's all.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Gettle, thank you. Councilmember Manfredi.
Yeah, as you know, is it working? Yeah, it's working. Back in November, we had a Veterans Day parade, and they were honored by our mayor during her State of the City, which was a great honor for them. And their, I forgot what it's called now. Grand Marshal. Sorry, I couldn't remember the word. Their Grand Marshal for the parade was Gene Wyatt. Gene Wyatt actually is the only known surviving, at the time, World War II veteran in Maricopa. Unfortunately, we lost Gene this past Monday night, and I just wanted everybody to know that. So his family is, of course, devastated. They lost their matriarch, right? But just want everybody to know that, you know, as we get further and further away from those events of World War II and Vietnam and other events, we lose more and more of these veterans. So if you can make time to say thank you when you see them and talk to them. One of his highlights, he said, before he passed, was that the actual serving as the Grand Marshal of the parade was one of the highlights of his life. This is a man in his late 90s, so that's pretty cool. So thanks for that point of privilege there to be able to share that. In the past couple weeks, I've attended a couple transportation meetings. We went to the CAG Legislative Day, and that's a day where I get to go down to the Capitol and get to talk to our legislators about important things. In reality, the only thing I talk to them about is one very important thing, and that's the SR 347, and understanding that regardless of the politics, regardless of the issues that people want to face or people are facing with the budget at the state, the SR 347 to me is an untouchable thing. And when there's funding in place for it, not to touch it. So make sure that we're working to secure that funding. I also had an RTAC meeting, which was exciting. That's Rural Transportation Advisory Council here in this county, in Pinal County. And in that one of the most important things we can do there is understand that although we had Prop 416, 417 in place, we lost Prop 416, 417, the money that's sitting there inside of a bank account that's raising to over $90 million, all that important stuff. We have to figure out the role Pinal County as a whole is going to play in getting the 347 fixed. So these meetings are very important, and more information will come out from the meetings that we're having. But one of the important things we talked about is the maintenance of the roads in Pinal County. So when you're driving down the roads in Pinal County, I want you to know that today you currently pay a 50-cent sales tax for maintaining roads in Pinal County. That includes the roads here in the city of Maricopa and roads everywhere else. So that was one of the discussions, is that goes away next year. And can you imagine that happening? And all the money we use to repair roads going away. So that's a conversation that we'll have when that comes up. Other than that, just busy running around getting stuff done. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Councilmember Manfredi and Vice Mayor Learman.
If everyone would join me, I'd like to take a moment of silence to honor the veteran that Councilmember Manfredi was talking about. If we could just do that and thank all our veterans in our community. Thank you very much. I had the pleasure of meeting him at the Veterans Luncheon, and I believe he told me that he joined in his young teenage years. 15. He was 15 years old. And if I remember correctly, he may have even lied about his age so that he could join. Yeah. And he's just a remarkable man and amazing story. So thank him and his family for his service. I just wanted to bring up, Mayor, this Saturday is Art for the Heart. It is at Maricopa High School in the multipurpose room. Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and goes till 4 p.m. They'll have a lot of art vendors there, and it's really focusing on youth art. And so I just invite everyone to come out and support our youth and their art talents.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Lehrman. All right, and just a couple things for me. Thank you very much, Councilmember Marsh, for bringing up State of the City. I want you all to know it was really a time of celebration in many, many ways, and there is a link available to watch it in its entirety, available on the website, through the newsletters. You've probably received that link if you do get the newsletters in your email. But if you have any problems finding that link, let me know. I'll connect you. But when I say it was a time of celebration, we celebrated the past, and it was amazing. We had a video regarding what did it look like 20 years ago. And for some of you who are new to the city, you would want to watch that video. It's amazing how we have transpired over the last 20 years and grown to where we are today. It was a celebration of all the work, such as the overpass, such as bringing in our first hospital, many different things that have happened in the past. And then we also celebrated the things that were done in the past year, such as the Sonoran Desert Parkway, and we explain why that road is so important. So if you have any questions on that, please watch the video. It explains it pretty well. And then we celebrated some of the things that are going to happen in the future. We talked a little bit about the surf park. Yes, it's still alive. Second hospital. Yes, it's still alive. And we talked a lot about 347. I love how much 347 talk I've heard here tonight. So a great way to look at celebrating Maricopa in our 20 years, but we also celebrated, and this to me was probably the most important part of this State of the City. We talked and answered the question, what keeps a small town community like Maricopa feeling like a small town community as we continue to grow? And the answer is all of you. And we had 6 community champions that we found within the community that actually do things that bring that small town community feel to the city of Maricopa. And I'm encouraging and challenging you all to watch that segment, figure out how you can be a community champion, if you're not already, many of you are, and bring that positivity to the city, because that's how we maintain our small town community feel, is us. City can't do it. It has to be us. We have to create community, neighborhood, positive feelings. And we even talked about the fact that you don't have to agree with every decision that's made with the city, but what you need to do is be informed of the facts and not social media facts. I'm talking about real facts. You need to be aware of that and share that information. There are reasons behind things, and whether you agree or don't agree, it's really important to share the facts and not something that you heard or read. Okay, and then the Senior Info Expo was talked about tonight, but I'm just giving a great congratulations to Ron Smith and the Senior Advisory Committee and to the staff. I want you to know, hopefully Ron will tell us how many people actually attended that event. It had to be 400 or 500. But it was amazing in regards to how seniors got a hold of senior information. So there were probably 100 different vendors there that gave senior resource information out. And what I heard was that so many people walked away with the information they needed and how fantastic of an event it was. So congratulations to that team of people, because they worked very hard. And then, yeah, absolutely. And then lastly, I want you to know that city manager, myself, Deputy City Manager Ben Bitter, our intergov, Katie Proctor, Vice Mayor Lehrman attended a very important meeting with ADOT on Friday talking about the 347 clawbacks. And we're asking them to look at ways to have a backup plan. We're asking them to look at ways to protect those funds. We asked them and pushed pretty hard for them to go away and figure out what are they going to do, because State Route 347 is a high priority for us and we want it to be a high priority. We asked them to find a way to get it into the 5-year plan. And so I think that was a really critical meeting. We had great conversation. They had feedback for us the next day. So I think they're hearing us, and I want you to know that. And that is it for the report from the mayor. Do we have a report from city manager? Nothing at this point. Thank you very much. All right, that'll take us to the call to the public. I do have 2 speaker cards. I do want to remind you when you approach the podium that you are addressing council, and so sometimes it's tempting to look out toward the audience, but you are approaching and speaking to council, so please keep that in mind. Let me read to you what happens during the call to the public. The procedures to follow if you address the council are: council requests that you express your ideas in 3 minutes or less and refrain from any personal attacks or derogatory comments about the city employees, fellow citizens, or anyone else, whether in the audience or not. The mayor will limit discussion whenever they deem such an action appropriate to the proper conduct of the meeting. At the conclusion of an open call to the public, individual members of council may respond to criticism made by those who have addressed the council, may ask staff to review a matter, or may ask that a matter be put on the future agenda. However, members of the council shall not discuss or take legal action on any matters during an open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. So let's call up our first speaker card, which is Kent Ojan.
Greetings, Mayor Smith. Greetings, City Council members. In celebration of the Black History Month, I am pleased to report that the Black Maricopa Chamber of Commerce has increased our membership to 87 members. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, our second speaker card is George Arredondo. If you'd like to come forward, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, City of Maricopa. My name is George Arredondo. I'm a candidate for Pinal County Board of Supervisors, District 1. I just want to introduce myself briefly, as I'll be in and around your community to learn and listen about your issues and concerns and my efforts to help in that. I am a native of Arizona, born and raised here in Pinal County. Coolidge, Arizona is my hometown. I was raised on a farm and ranch there. I kind of have a small ranch myself right now. I worked for the Department of Agriculture for over 18 years, and then with the Navy and the Army, and ended up with 32 years of federal service. I also served in the Navy Reserves, 22 years, retired as a Master Chief Petty Officer with 3 combat tours, 1 in Iraq and 2 in Afghanistan. And I also currently serve on the Coolidge School Board, and a few decades ago I served on a council member as in the city of Coolidge as well. But it was great here to see your state of the city the other day. I saw Mr. Anderson and brought out some memories. When I worked for the Department of Agriculture, I had to measure fields out here, and I remember going to farmers like him and get their crop reports for wheat, cotton, whatever they grew over there. But the change, and that was like 30 years ago, so the changes in the 20 years of your presentation was just remarkable to see the transformation of that. A lot of things has changed. There's a lot of cotton fields has gone by, and the Agricultural Center has transformed as well, and there's like a lot of things going to happen there as well. But anyways, I know the concerns of State Route 347, that's a big issue for the community. I see that your goals that the things that you've accomplished and what you want to accomplish are things that have to be looked at and vetted out through your council. And I would do anything that I can if I'm duly elected and support with you, because as a senior NCO, I know how to get things done, to work with the communities and focus on that. So anyways, that's just briefly about myself. I just wanted to just state that, and you'll see me around your community, and I look forward to visiting with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arredondo. All right, that is the end of the speaker cards. Would anyone like to approach the podium and speak to City Council? Yes, please come forward.
My name is Kenneth Granville Golacki. Good afternoon. So last time we was here, we was talking about the population sign, and you told me to call. So I found out some information. So census, they haven't came out with the population yet. So it's just 66,000 that's here in town. But also more information is talking about the head of household, people that have a bachelor is only 65%. And then people that have high school diplomas between 25 and up is only 23%. And so this type of information that we can bring to when we're asking for grants. And another reason why I bring this up is too, we have apartments that's building and around Walmart, and some of the stipulations are that you gotta have multiple kids, or you have to have, I should say, a higher gross rate, 50,000 for a single parent. So if one person, like me and my child, try to get a house, apartment, we can't afford it, they would decline us. So I will ask or try to look into equal opportunities for single people. I know that Director Malcolm Green was talking about housing, but if we can afford it already, it's already established, we should try to mandate that, because there's real estates that's not in Arizona that own these, they're out of state. So I think we should do something more in-state. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would anyone else like to approach the podium? Very good. Seeing none, I will close the call to the public. That will take us at this point to the consent agenda. Tonight we have on the consent agenda items 7.1 through 7.7. I don't have any speaker cards. Council members, do you have any questions, concerns, issues, things that you want to pull? Seeing none, do I have a motion? Motion is brought to us from Councilmember Marsh. Do I have a second? Pardon me? Second from Councilmember Vitiello. And one more chance for any questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. 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 Any opposed? And that motion carries. That'll take us to a regular agenda item 8.1. This is a presentation from Councilmember Manfredi and myself in appointing one citizen to fill the vacancy on the Cultural Affairs and Arts Committee. Each of us have an opening, and Councilmember Manfredi, I'll let you go first.
Filling these openings is important because they serve a great purpose for the city of Maricopa. On this committee, Cultural Affairs and Arts Committee, Arts Advisory Committee, sorry, you need to find people that are passionate about arts, passionate about the city of Maricopa, and it's over. I can't talk.
I did that on purpose. No, I'm just.
She's always trying to cut me off. So it's important to find people that want to serve and serve for the right purposes. I talked to a few people, and I kept coming back to the thought process that, not thought process, to the person Mecca Hunter as the person I'd like to put on our Cultural Affairs and Advisory Committee and Arts Advisory Committee.
Thank you very much. I too had the pleasure of meeting her, and she's delightful, but what I loved about her is she's the perfect example of a community champion. She's out there with a positive vibe, trying to help the community in many, many different ways. Council, do you have any questions or comments on the appointment of Mecca Hunter to the Community Cultural Affairs and Arts Committee? Okay, and we'll take a motion in just a second. I myself have an opening, and I would like to appoint a woman that has been involved in arts throughout the community for many, many years of the community. She actually helped in terms of being one of the founding members of Maricopa Friends of the Arts, and has contributed a lot to that effort. And what I'd like to do is have May McCarthy, if she's in the room, please stand. Oh, I see her back there. And I'd like to appoint May McCarthy to the Cultural Affairs and Arts Committee. So are there any questions, concerns over these two candidates? If not, may I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Councilmember Gettle. Do I have a second? Second by Vice Mayor Lehrman. Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Congratulations. Is Mecca here? Oh, there she is. Mecca, please stand and wave to everybody. She's so delightful. These two ladies are very delightful. I know. Well, I did it for you. There you go. All right, that'll take us to agenda item 8.2. This is a presentation from all of our BCCs, and this is their presentation to council on what they would like their 2024-25 goals to be, what direction they would like to head, and this will be not something that we take action on tonight, but we will ask questions if council has any questions, and then we will look to take some action on at our futures meeting, which is this week. So I think I'd like to invite up first the Senior Advisory Committee. Who will be presenting? Miss Elizabeth. This is Elizabeth Howell. She is the chair of the Senior Advisory Committee. And this is the group that did such a wonderful job on the Senior Expo.
Mayor and Council, thank you for this opportunity to address you tonight. First, I'd like to thank Council for their appointments. The Senior Advisory Committee is working well together. And we would also like to recognize Ron Smith. Ron, stand up, please, for his coordination of the Senior Info Expo, and thank library and city staff for their assistance with this event. Angela Howell and Craig Ward were most helpful at the library. And for the city staff, Brenda Campbell, Nick Brooks, Kelly Kellerman, Travis Orion, and Marlene Pierce were particularly helpful. This event was put together on short notice, and everyone stepped up to make it successful. Depending on who you ask, we had between 350 and 500 participants. Next, we request that council and staff add 3 high-priority items to their futures planning. A new, larger community center, senior center. There are estimated between 9,000 and 16,000 seniors in our city. The current community center is reaching capacity for many of their programs and needs to be enlarged to meet demand and provide new services. In the senior center, we need rooms for larger groups and space to have card games, handicrafts, and other activities going on at the same time. All of these activities help seniors to socialize and to meet new friends. We shouldn't have to sacrifice one activity in order to accommodate the others. The community center, senior center should be a destination, not an afterthought. I've discussed this with Chance Love, the community center director, and he would like to remain connected to or affiliated with the senior center. With a new, larger center, we would be able to provide services not currently available, such as hot meals and Meals on Wheels. These services are currently being provided by PGCSC, the Pinal County Center for Senior Citizens, because we don't have the capability to meet the needs of the seniors in Maricopa. Number 2, improve the MET and dial-a-ride systems. This is a much-needed service, but it is very limited and inconsistent. We need a more consistent and improved system that can meet the needs of the seniors in our city. A dispatcher to answer the phone would be a big step in making this service available to the seniors in the city and could assist in providing rides for those needing transportation. Number 3, we had help from the city staff this year for the Senior Info Expo and would like to see that continue and even expand the city involvement for next year and continuing, especially in the areas of promoting the event, facilitating event sponsorship, transportation to the event, and processing all financial transactions. This event requires a partnership between the city and the Senior Advisory Committee in order to be successful. Let's future-proof by building a senior center that you on the City Council can be proud of and by providing a way to get there. Last, in your packet you have a list of Senior Advisory Committee goals. These are based on the goals which you presented to us in Resolution 23-52. These changes and adjustments were formulated by the committee over a period of about 3 months. To run through them quickly, A, B, C, and D remain the same as previously passed by the council. We have modified E to read, be available to partner with community organizations to educate, inform, and improve the quality of life for seniors. We deleted G, assist with senior volunteer recruitment for organizations in the city, as a community center is already doing this. And we combined H, I, and J under work with and support existing senior programs. We added advocate for senior transportation services within the city of Maricopa. This is a critical issue for seniors. We have heard from many seniors that they would like to participate in various activities but are unable to get a ride. We would like to be involved in trying to find a solution to this problem. In Section 4, Item C3 of your resolution, 23-52, we request that it be amended to any member who is absent for 3 consecutive meetings or is absent to any 3 meetings over a 4-month period without contacting the chairperson shall be considered as having resigned his or her position. 6 months is too long for us to have a non-productive person on the committee. We believe that these changes will help us to meet the committee goals stated in Resolution 23-52. The Senior Advisory Committee shall act in an advisory capacity to City Council in the development and continuing review of ways to enrich and enhance the quality of life for seniors in the city. And I'd like to ask all the members of the senior committee to please stand. Thank you. You're not here, Barry. Barry's not on the committee. But he comes to our meetings. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation.
Thank you. Elizabeth, if you don't mind staying in case there are questions.
Oh, no.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Elizabeth at this point regarding the Senior Advisory Committee and their presentation? Yes, Vice Mayor Learman.
Elizabeth, so just to understand, were these prioritized in the most important down?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
Because we recognize the fact that we need a senior center, but if we can't get the seniors to get there, it won't do much good. So those are kind of equal in importance to us. The continuing for the partnership for the Info Expo is something we'll address later in the year, but it needs to be a true partnership where we have our responsibilities and you have your responsibilities. And Ron did a phenomenal job in putting that together this year, so we do have those lists.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Any additional comments, questions? Yes, Councilmember Marsh.
Yes, I just want to thank you, Elizabeth, for leading the Senior Advisory Committee this past 2 years. You did a bang-up job, and you've turned it into something very powerful. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next I'd like to invite
Mayor?
up the, yes.
Is it possible to get a copy of the written notes?
Oh, absolutely. Elizabeth, may we have a copy of your notes?
You have it.
Is it all in here? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't follow along till the second page. Okay, perfect. All right, I'd like to invite up the Parks and Rec Committee to come forward, who will be presenting. Hello.
I'm Jeannie Edekai, and I am a member of the Parks and Rec Committee, appointed by Council
Hello.
Vice Mayor Amber, and I just talked to you today. So
Yes.
I will try to use this. We have a PowerPoint. So I'm here to talk to you about the trail system and the interconnectedness for our organization. Okay, how do I use this?
The green button has to go forward.
Oh, okay, thank you. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so here are our requests. The Parks and Rec Committee would like to partner with the city in enhancing and publicizing the trail system. Our committee would like to provide suggestions for improvement and provide feedback to improvement plans prior to implementation. Our committee would also like to provide ideas for the marketing of the system and provide feedback prior to the implementation. So our goal, of course, is to provide accessible connectedness for the health and well-being of our citizens. So as we talked about, as the mayor talked about having a small town feel and really keeping us connected, I think the trail system would really work towards creating that interconnectedness with all of our citizens. So I did walk the trails the month of December and found some improvements that we need to make. Directional arrows, mileage or length expectation of that trail. So is it a mile trail? Is it 2 miles? Is it 50 feet? What is it? Dead ends, let us know if it dead ends. Where other trails might connect. Perhaps name the trails. Accessibility signage, usage signage. So is it open to dogs? Is it open to bikes? Where trail crosses an HOA with gates, there was a couple of those. Just add a little sign and make it clear that all citizens can use, because you get to a gate, you're not sure, can I go in there? I'm not really sure, I don't want to trespass, right? Maybe put a QR code, and this comes a little bit later how we want to put it on the Trails app, but maybe a QR code on the signs that lead to the mobile app or to the city website, which comes a little bit later, so that people can quickly look up the trails, the trail system, and how they connect. So in addition, where the trail crosses a street, install pedestrian walkways, maybe with a traffic signal. I don't know how much we might need that, but it's possible if you have someone that's a slower mobility person that's going to take them a while to get across. We don't want them to get run over as they're trying to cross. And then use icon systems, of course, which I think is pretty standard, but I wanted to include that. Lighting, we would like some solar lighting installed. We figured that would be lower on an electric bill and they would be more sustainable. Either activated dusk to dawn or motion activated out there. In the evenings, it's pretty dark, as we know. We like it that way. But when we're walking out there, we want to see where we're going to feel safe. So, of course, it should be low light to keep in alignment with Pinal County's light pollution ordinance, and not too bright. We don't want to disturb residences as well, because some of these trails go right by houses and you don't want that light shining into your bedroom. We also looked at seating, so you might want to take a break on some of these longer trails. Sit on the ground? No, let's have some seating that kind of goes along with the nature look of these trails. Most of them are deserty, of course, but anything that's metal or rocks might be a little hard to sit on, so maybe some wood, something that would blend into the landscape and look natural, and of course solid and durable, and resistant to heat. I could tell a story about that. The dog waste. So I'm a dog mom. So my puppy, I carry around little bags for him, but not everybody does, and the little bag stations to put your little baggie into is not always around. So, and I've seen them where people just kind of drop them, expect someone else to pick them up. So if we could have like little dogs bag stations along these trails, it'd be great. And then maintenance. Work with our HOAs. Hopefully we can get a working partnership with them to keep the trails clean and free of those sticker plants. Now, if you're from Arizona, you know that all of our bushes are made very hardy and they have thorns, but we don't want a pup to get a thorn in the paw or a child to fall and get a thorn in the leg. So if we could keep those areas, or at least down the center strip of these trails, as clear as possible, they would be safe. And of course, be really cool. Some of these trails had grassy areas, If they were watered and mowed, they would look beautiful. Some of them just have weeds. It's fine. It's just, we don't want to get poked. So here's the marketing piece. We want to place the trail system on the All Trails app. We want to provide trail system brochures at Copper Sky and other city facilities. And we also want to place the trail system on the city website with an interactive map. So the QR code would could go to both, could go to the city, and the city could have a link to the app, however it is that we want to set up. I'm not that techie. But it needs to be mobile accessible. I'm on a trail and I want to find out where it goes or where it connects. I want to be able to pull it up on my phone. And then money, we want money. So we thought it would be super cool to do a professionally produced video. Not my iPhone, but a professionally produced video. I looked it up, did a little bit of research. You could probably do one between $5,000 and $15,000, depending on how fancy we get. It's about 2 to 3 minutes, which is compatible with social media. And we could have a video of citizens in the video, have citizens that use the trails, show our signage, our lighting, our seating and dogway stations. And then we could put that video on the website, on social media, city TV monitors, to really help our citizens become aware of the trail system and how they can use it. And then we want to survey our residents. So a lot of this, of course, is time and money, but I can't get that without an RFP and all of that. So the survey, we want to know from our residents, how is this working out for you? How do you like these improvements? Are you using the trails? I kind of envision a lot of kids using it to go to school. I see a lot of people in my neighborhood. I live in Tortosa. So there's no sidewalks there. So I see a lot of people walking and riding bikes up and down. It sure be nice in other parts of the city if they could have spaces to walk besides next to cars, especially at night. So my 5 minutes, I did it pretty quick. Any questions for y'all?
Well, I will say I'm impressed. Yeah. I think for the first time I've heard someone say, I went out and walked those trails.
I did.
I've been on a few of them, but I haven't been on all of them. And now I feel like you've empowered me to go do all of them.
Go do them.
Yeah. I think you had a great presentation with lots of facts. Any additional comments or questions from the council, Vice Mayor?
Great job. That was awesome.
Okay.
Very exciting. I can't wait to talk about it more.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you for your work.
Any additional comments, questions? That's okay. Brandon, are you wanting to?
Yes, I've got more presentation.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm also part of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee.
Okay, I thought that was it in its entirety. I'm
no.
so sorry. All
We've got 2 more things.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have a presentation you need to put up?
I do. It's the playground one. If that was up there.
Great.
They're
I thought you had more to add on trails.
If it's not, I got it.
Were there any other questions on trails? Okay, seeing none. Okay, very good.
That'll be fun to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's up? Hey, there we go. Awesome. Well, hi. My name is Brandon Ashleman, and I'm on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. And I was part of the subcommittee of 2. I appointed a deputy to where we got to go and experience some of the playgrounds that were closer to us, but not necessarily just a walk away. So I want to talk about our opportunity here and what the Parks Committee would love to see us do, over the course of the next year. So we're talking about the WOW Playground. We have an opportunity right now with the new iconic park to really make something great, to really make something that's going to blow people's minds whenever they come in. And you'll see some pictures very shortly. But some of the attractions that I noticed at some of these parks that I went to, they had a lot of height. They had a lot of tiers. I think height excites kids and families. But they also had a lot of safety, and we'll talk about that in a second as well, and accessibility. So first off, we're talking about tiers. So this is Gilbert Regional Park. It's basically a mountain, and it's 3 stories tall, and everything that you see there, you can fall on and not hurt yourself. And if we did something like this with our park here, I think it would be great, and we'll talk about that. Man, I'm not used to talking to people.
Is that the deputy right there?
What's that?
That
No,
little-
that's not her.
That's not her, okay.
There she is,
There she
in
is,
the orange
okay.
shirt.
Okay, yeah.
That's my 3-year-old
Okay,
daughter,
yeah.
and so I had her test out the things. And currently on that tree, she's on the one part of that park that you can fall on and get hurt. But that second picture that's up there is safety. So what you're doing right now is you're looking at from the top of, like, it's about 3 stories tall, and you're looking basically straight down, and you can see safe play areas for all the kids to play on, and everything that you climb up. It's like a joy to be able to come up and climb those tiers and the steps. We're talking about accessibility as well. We want to do things that also let kids with disabilities also enjoy the park. As you can see, a lot of our parks in this area have a lot of wood chips. You can't really push a wheelchair through wood chips. And the fact that if we had this sort of padding and ground on the different areas of the park, any kid can go at any place, and you can see there's the seesaw that's right there that can fit anybody. There's safe swings that are behind there, and of course that merry-go-round. But basically what they do is they build everything into the landscape, and I think that will attract people, and they'll drive from really far away. When I was at these parks, when I was at Gilbert Regional Park, I was talking to some people, and they drove from Glendale to go to Gilbert, which is about an hour or more drive for them to do that. And I think we can get a lot of people to come down, especially from Casa Grande, to come this way. I think we are always talking about people coming down from the city, but I also think that people coming from Casa Grande is just as important, because they are our neighbors as well. So some of the ideas is building the attractions into the landscaping, playground padding all over, at least 3 tiers of fun. There's a separate tot play area, lots of shade and benches for parents. It's pretty fun to be able to sit down on a bench and let your kid go play and not have them worry about, not worrying about them necessarily getting hurt. Big slides, plenty of things to climb on, swing, slide, merry-go-rounds for the handicap and wheelchair-bound kids. And then, of course, covered table areas and grills. You can host, people can rent them out and have birthday parties, or they can just do a first come, first serve thing. And why it's important, like I said earlier, people drive here, and we want to live up to the term iconic. I think when they park and they walk through the area, the entrance of the park, and they look and they see that playground, just something for them just to go, whoa, this is incredible. Right? And I think Maricopans will be proud of it. I can't speak for the people who don't have kids, but I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on what people who do have smaller kids and younger kids would like, and I think a safe place to play in a cool playground would be part of that. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have on this.
Thank you. Thank you. Council, any questions on that portion of their presentation? All right, very good. Thank you, Brandon. Looks like you have another piece. Part 3.
Part 3. Good evening. My name is Valerie Marsh, and on behalf of the founding members of the Maricopa Archers and the currently nearly 100 local archers actively participating on our Facebook page, we would like to thank the City Council for this opportunity to present our proposal to request funds for a local archery range. While we're aware of the Palo Verde Park proposal outside of town that would include a practice range scheduled to start construction within the next 3 to 5 years, we're also aware, 1, their proposal is dependent upon much larger funding being secured than what we're seeking. 2, their proposed range is too far outside of town for our schools to use. 3, their range would not be capable of holding competition-level events and therefore would not be a draw for local Maricopa businesses. 4, Their timeline of 3 to 5 years far exceeds that of the 3 to 5 months we would need to complete the range that we're proposing. So this slide shows you the high-level outline of what Maricopa Archers are proposing. This would be a 6-acre, 1-bay outdoor competition level range. This would allow for JOAD, which is the Junior Olympic Archery Development, and other Olympic-level archery programs. Benefits of archery for individuals are many, and they include things like physical strength, focus and concentration, and social skills. And the benefits to our community will be numerous as well. A centralized range such as this would allow community members of all ages and abilities to become involved in one of the safest and most inclusive sports. As a matter of fact, USA Archery put out some recent data showing archery as one of the safest sports with about 0.57 injuries per 1,000 participants. That makes it 3 times safer than golf. This range would allow the ability to hold amateur and professional competition level events in more than half a dozen archery disciplines, drawing hundreds of competitors to Maricopa from all over the state, the country, and the world. We would have a local space for Maricopa school students starting in early elementary all the way through high school, and could hold intramural, regional, and state-level competitions for those students. We also know that once the range is established, the National Archery in the Schools program will provide instructional bows to the schools at no cost. Additionally, the potential of college scholarships for Maricopa students would currently range between $500 and $20,000. When the founding members first met in September of 2023, we wanted to start by guaranteeing sufficient interest from the community before we came asking for support. And we have it. First, we have a group of 7 dedicated Maricopa residents who have been meeting regularly to scope what would be needed to make this happen. We've researched how to minimize what the city would need to provide while providing the maximum benefits to the community. We set up a Facebook page on December 7th, and on the first day, we had 70 requests to join. By the second, we were at over 100, and that number continues to grow. Finally, we know the 2023 USA Archery Arizona State Outdoor Championship Cup, that's a whole lot of words, drew 800 participants and their families to the city of Phoenix. Just imagine what an influx of people like that could do for the local businesses right here in Maricopa. In conclusion, a local Maricopa-based archery range will benefit our students and schools, our businesses, and our entire community. So we ask for your consideration and open for questions. Thank you.
Council members, what questions do you have regarding this portion?
No questions, just a comment when you're ready.
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah, so Madam Mayor, I am so excited about the enthusiasm that has come forward through our discussions there in our Parks and Recs Committee. We talk about being a destination city, a premier city, and I believe that these 3 initiatives have the potential of really helping us bring that to the next level. And I'm excited to see if we can gather some support and some ways forward to move these projects to be reality. It's exciting.
Thank you. Any additional comments, Vice Mayor?
Thank you for all your work on this project. Excellent presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. I have just 2 technical questions.
Love it.
Do you serve on the Parks and Rec Committee?
I do not.
Okay. Who is the chairman for the Parks and Rec Committee? Would you mind coming forward, please? Just one question. This presentation from the Maricopa Archers was a wonderful presentation. I would like you to verify that this is one of your 3 goals for the Parks and Rec Committee.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions, comments? Yes, Councilmember Wade.
It's just a curiosity question, but have you had an opportunity to talk about your program to vendors, other folks in the community who might be supporters of yours? and how has that been received?
Please come forward.
She's the talker. I'm not really the talker. I'm Michael Higashi. I'm on the Parks and Rec Committee. We've spoken to Genesis Archery, and they will provide bows to both our club and to schools that want to start a program. We've talked to the Maricopa High School, and they're interested in a high school level program. That's as far as we've gotten so far.
Does that answer your question?
And Michael, I also understand there's some preliminary talks with Shields, the new department store that's up in town as well.
Yes, Shields wants to sponsor us if we are able to do this.
Very good. Anyone else? All right, thank you. Appreciate the presentations. I think you guys all did a great job so far. All right. The Senior Advisory Committee is done. Parks and Rec Committee is done. Now we'll bring up the Cultural Affairs and Arts Committee. The chair of this committee is Peg Chapados, giving the presentation as well.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Thank you for this opportunity. I have a little bit of a recap of what we've accomplished this past year, and then also a couple of goals for 2024 and a request that we want to make of Council. So just to remind everybody, our council liaisons currently are Council Members Gettle and Wade. Our committee, up until tonight, was missing 2 people. So I'd like to take a moment to have all 7 of us, minus 1. Unfortunately, Laura Olivieri is not with us tonight, but if we could have the rest of the committee members stand up and be recognized, and welcome to May and Mecca. Mayor and Councilmember Manfredi, thank you for those appointments. Mm-hmm. We've been missing those folks. So to review our purpose statement, we want as a committee to make sure that we recognize and foster appreciation and awareness for all the many artists and talents and cultural aspects of our wonderful city. We had several objectives. Some of them we have accomplished, some of them are rollovers until the next year. But we've taken hold of the opportunity to promote arts and cultural events at our committee levels, in our networks, with organizations that we are also members of, and any chance that we get to make sure that we put the word out there about all the art stuff and cultural stuff that's happening in Maricopa. We make sure that we promote that, whether it's a call to the public at our committee meeting, board meetings that we attend, groups that we're associated with. We're always talking about all the opportunities that happen in Maricopa. We also have been able to, as a committee, offer input on city-sponsored events. We've had some amazing events this past year, and by far, the consensus of the committee is what a great event, what a great opportunity. It was well handled, it was well staffed, it was well executed, so that's exciting moving forward. We also want to focus on additional marketing and cross-promotional opportunities. We're working very closely with Community Enrichment and Quinn's team to make sure that we leverage all the maximum resources, because there's a lot of moving parts to arts and culture stuff, and there's a lot of other organizations out there that we could partner with or at least help cross-promote. The one thing that we are talking about continually is to facilitate some kind of public input, public forum, if you will, an information session on the proposals for the renovations to the current police headquarters building, and when that becomes an arts and entertainment complex. I know it's on Thursday's agenda for future planning, but we would like to help in whatever capacity council directs. We think it's important. We want to also collaborate with residents and other groups in terms of just learning what's out there, who does what kind of talent do we have, because we have a lot of it. When the opportunities arise, we would like to offer feedback on changes to the design guidelines. There's been several in the past, and input has been welcomed by the city staff, so we'd like to continue that as opportunities occur. We also want to find ways to introduce more food and cuisine into our cultural and arts events, and to produce a promotional piece about our committee, but that's kind of a future goal down the road. So one of the things we did first was take a look at what's out there, what already exists. So we compiled a list based on city website, Maricopa Community Foundation, organizations that we know of that exist, and we've got well over 100 groups and or events that happen right here in the city of Maricopa on an average year, and that list continues to grow. So that was pretty exciting to see all those different options that we have. We want to continue the public arts display. We have a gallery up now, and our theme was Maricopa's Love Story, 20 years and counting. We had very successful submissions. We took almost a 2-year hiatus, so it was nice to see that back. And I'm pleased to report that of the 17 items that are hanging in the gallery, all but 2 are up for sale, and we've already sold 2. So people are paying attention. We sold one actually before it was even hung. A lady walked through and saw it sitting on the floor. She goes, "Can I buy that?" And we said, "Sure." We would like to pursue with the other 2 committees the ability to maybe have a joint brainstorming session just to touch base, because a lot of good things that I've seen tonight and heard from the other committees, there might be some opportunities for us to work together to leverage our networks, our resources, our talents, and make us all stronger individually as well as collectively. And then tonight, one of our goals that we're accomplishing is feedback to City Council, and we do appreciate this opportunity. I'm glad that you guys are interested in hearing what we're working on. So moving forward, goals for 2024, we do want to continue the public art displays. That's a typo. It should be 3 per year for about 4 months apiece. I would like to acknowledge Cynthia Portray, Danielle Lamorin, and Antonia Presime. They were our arts display subcommittee. They got together, they curated it, they oversee the hanging of it, they've developed the themes and the timelines for the rest of this year and into 2025. So we've got some exciting opportunities for art and displays coming up in the city, and I'd like to thank those ladies for their hard work. Again, we had submitted a request from our committee, signed by all the committee members at the time, to City Council, asking for staff and council support to hold that public information session. Okay? We also want to start to invite other cultural groups and arts groups to present at our committee meetings so we know in detail who they are and what they do. I think it's a great opportunity. We've already lined up a couple, probably starting in March. So that'll be an opportunity for them to learn about us and us to learn about them. Okay. We also want to try and increase visibility. We've got some amazing displays of art throughout the city, and there's more coming all the time. We want to make sure people are aware of them. How do they find them? QR codes have been discussed tonight, signage, different marketing and promotional materials. We've got a great city newsletter every Friday that comes out and says, here's something you can do. I was here at a time when people used to say, there's nothing to do in this town. And now it's how much stuff can I do in a weekend or an evening. So that's good news. We also want to continue to explore ways to integrate food, cuisine. Maricopa's all about the food. And we love being able to sample different opportunities and stuff. We've got some great events where we can do that. So we want to continue that. We want to also offer ways to experience more cultural events. And that doesn't mean we want to take on a project or create a new event. There's a plethora of stuff that already exists that we can leverage and help cross-promote and make people aware of. And then last but not least, we want to find some cost-neutral ways to promote our objectives, particularly right now with the arts display. What we'd like to do is start to hold small receptions, low-key stuff, anytime we have a new gallery. And we'd like council's permission or direction, if you will, to seek some sponsorships to do some very, very low-key but public receptions so we can feature the artists, feature the artworks, and tell people this is what it represents to me, this is the story behind it, whatever. So we would like to be able to do that as a committee. Okay. Last but not least is the proposed changes for the arts building that's currently a PD headquarters. So as a committee, we didn't really focus on what our priorities were because that's why we're proposing a public outreach session. But we'd like it to be a balanced session if staff and council does support that. I've experienced the dot polling when we were building Copper Sky, other things, other projects that come down. We don't want to make this just, it's a blank wish list, just whatever you want to do, come and tell us. We want to have a balanced approach. So here's some budget parameters. Here's some suggestions and concepts that council and staff have already suggested. We want to make it a realistic approach so people don't get false assumptions. People aren't saying, well, you said one thing and did another. That's not what we want to do. But we, as a committee, also reviewed some things, and I think in terms of our priorities, one of the first things we wanted to look at was affordability. We want to make sure that that facility, whatever it ends up being, is used and useful, and turning people away rather than saying, yeah, we've got another month where there was very little activity going on. We want that place packed. Talking to some of the folks that are involved in the performing and musical arts and visual arts, acoustics and aesthetics are very important. The look of the building, how it sounds inside, how it feels. It should be welcoming, which leads us to the next one. We have to have some adaptability. Based on what the final goals are, we want to make sure that that space has an intentional design, not just thrown together, not just, well, this is what we can do right now. Whatever we can afford, the best use of that facility is what we'd like to see. We also appreciate the fact that it can be an economic driver. People will come to buy art, see performances, hear performances, take a workshop class, maybe buy a book. Who knows what it can be, an incubator service. So there's a lot of potential to do a lot of everything. But most of all, we want to make sure it's an anchor for more. What do we mean by more? Anything and everything. We've got a blank slate to start with, so we can only build from there. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. We've got a very robust artistic community here. And what can we do to help foster that, help increase awareness, help build it, make money for us, for them, for the city, whatever it takes, that's what we'd like to see. So again, we appreciate this opportunity, and we look forward to the futures planning session. Thank you again for making our committee whole, and if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. And the reason I'm up here is there's some people on my committee that were podium shy, so this is what ends up happening. I tried to cajole them, I tried to threaten them, I tried to force them, I tried to assign them, and it was like, nope, not going up there. So I appreciate your time, thank you.
Yeah, after my meeting with Mecca, I don't think you're going to have a problem.
Sounds good.
She has a big voice. I love that. Council, any questions, comments, concerns, things you want clarified? Yes, Councilmember Wade.
I've been in attendance of meetings and gatherings for the Cultural Arts Affairs Committee, and I'm really always impressed with the amount of energy that you put into the work, Peg, which carries over into everybody else. You have to have a good leader to have good organization.
Thank you, but it's a team effort for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and you have a great team to work with. So
we do.
It's good. Hope that we, as you said, we made you whole tonight, and that should be helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Yes, Councilmember Vidiello.
I just want to thank all three of the committees. Wow is what I can only say. As a former liaison of PR used to be the L, and the advisory committee for the seniors, I got to tell you, wow, I thank you. I've been away for a year. I was acting vice mayor, and I got to come back to all three committees because, wow, I'm amazed. Thank you for what you guys have done. All three presentations blew me away. And if I had the money to do all three of these, everything you wanted to do, it would be yes. But obviously, you know, we are conservative, and we have to make sure that we spend every dollar conservatively. But the bottom line is, wow and thank you, because every one of you take a ton of your time to make these presentations amazing. And again, thank you for what you do. It's a thankless job. People have no clue how many hours you put in, and it's all because you love what you do. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you do, because it's amazing, and we couldn't do it without you all. So thank you, and I appreciate you all.
Thank you, and I don't pretend to speak for the other two committees, but none of this would be possible without your support. So thank you, Council.
Yeah, thank you. I also want to really tell you how much I appreciate all the work that was put into this. Council, you have 3 days to mull this over, figure out, and then so does staff. Staff will mull this over, kind of give us a heads up in regards to what staff thinks is doable within the year's time frame. So I look forward to that discussion. I look forward to seeing you all there at the Futures meeting. But yeah, you did a great job, and I certainly appreciate it, and I appreciate the ideas. And now I got to go hike. So thank you very much. That does conclude our presentation and our agenda for tonight.
Mayor, if I could?
Yes.
There's one
Go
other
right-
person we'd
yeah,
like to acknowledge.
absolutely.
And I know that person is integral in helping all of the committees, and that's Marlene Pierce.
Absolutely.
She does a stellar job.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Peg. All right, that brings us to the end of the agenda, and this meeting is adjourned.